I used to think I was extremely bad with money until I realized that, okay, it wasn't just about what I didn't know, it was also about what I was doing that I was doing mindlessly without paying attention to. And learning about personal finance by reading tons of books about personal finance has taught me that these are things that I can do to take control of my money, and I'm going to be sharing that with you right away. So think about this as a crash course, yeah, based on what I have learned on my personal finance journey. The first thing that people do, which they seldom think about, is leaving all of your money in one account. If you leave all of your money in one lump sum, there's the likelihood that you will always run out of money. Why? Because you there's an illusion that you have a lot of money when you really do not. Let me give you a practical example. Let's say you earn £1,000 a month, right? And you pay £500 on transportation. You pay £200, or in your mind, you end up saying, oh, yeah, I'll spend £200 on rent. Whatever it is that your mathematical mind tells you, that might not be necessarily how you end up spending it. What you want to do is to split them into pots, right? So if you have a bank account like Monzo that allows you to create pots, then you create pots and then split them into different pots. So you can have a pot for transportation, you can have a pot for groceries, you can have a pot for entertainment, you can have a pot for personal development, you can have a pot for eating out, you can have a pot for whatever it is that you end up spending your money on. It also helps you regulate how much can I realistically afford for a thing that is not as crucial as entertainment, right? That gives you a very good idea of your money as opposed to keeping it in one bank account and just spending. Yeah, spending, thinking you have money, forgetting that you have £300 to pay for rent or whatever it is. I know rent is more than £300. I'm just saying as an example. Thinking you have enough money when you really do not. So what you want to do is to split them into pots. Now, if you do not have a bank account like Monzo, for example, you can create different savings accounts. Just find a way to ensure that you know you can keep track of your spending, so you have a clearer picture of what it is that you spending. How can you do this? When you paid and you have £1,000, keep it at the back of your mind that the £1,000 is just a lump sum. It is not something you have to spend until you do the maths and know what is going where. So that is one thing you should do. I just use £1,000 because it's a whole number, or it's just yeah, it just makes sense, right? So do it in terms of how much you earn and do it your way. The next thing that people do a lot when it comes to their money, which I think that has really helped me and transformed my relationship with money, is budgeting. And I know that budgeting might sound boring. Just the thought of creating a budget might sound like it's a lot, it's boring, I don't want to do it, I'm restricting myself. But what it does is that it gives you freedom. It gives you the freedom to know realistically that you don't have to stress, and know what you can afford, what you cannot afford, what you can prioritize, what you can keep for next time, and what you can let go altogether. So once you're paid, you need to create a budget. For me, one of the things I really like doing since I started doing this with my finances has been to create my budget about a week before I'm paid, or even days before. But I typically think if it's a week before you paid, your mind is clearer, right? You're not excited or giddied up. I mean, if you budget for some time, you'd realize that, okay, it doesn't get you as excited because you know how much it's gonna go and all of that. But I like to set a budget like a week before I am paid. And what that does is that I'm able to set my priorities right and have a clear mind when I'm putting together all of my plans, my money plans. So one of the things you need to do is to create a budget. There are so many different apps that you can use to create a budget these days. You can go with the traditional pen and paper, which is one of my favorite ways to go about it at this time. You can just write them down and know what is going where. And that's one thing you have to learn to do. It's so easy. and it helps you regulate your spending. The next thing is people pleasing, always saying yes, right? I used to be a yes girl, so I know what I'm talking about. Yes, 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 because you're just a yes person. You're a massive people pleaser. And when it comes to finances, you have to be realistic, right? There are times that you do not have the money to take care of something or to send to someone else. If you do not have it, be frank with them and let them know, and then help them when you can realistically afford. And it's important for you to learn to regulate that. Take away people pleasing, take out emotions, learn to be realistic, right? What are the priorities? Is this need very important? Is this something I want to put my money in? And I'm not going to tell you how to deal with this. I feel like when it comes to personal relationships, there are so many different dynamics, and there are definitely nuances when it comes to this. But just think about it and be careful how you deal with money when it comes to relationships and your people pleasing attitude, because I've had to deal with that and I'm still recovering. I think generally when it comes to people pleasing, I am learning my way around that. But I think when it comes to money, it's also very, very important that we all deal with that and get out of the whole people pleasing zone or mentality when it comes to money. One of the things that I really stopped doing is to think that I am not good with money. I used to say this a lot. I used to say that, oh, I'm not good with money. I'm not good at saving. I'm not good at budgeting. But one thing that I realized was that when I started learning more about money was that anybody can do it. Literally anyone can do it. You can start saving, you can start investing, you can be good at budgeting. All of these things are things that you just need to do to get better at. And I also learned that the more you're telling yourself that you're not good at doing ABC, the worse you get at doing ABC, because that's what you've told yourself internally, and then your mind keeps living to that and telling you that okay, you can't do it. So I stopped telling myself I wasn't good with money, right? If I'm not good with something, I am going to learn, which is why I always hammer that people learn about money. And that is why I always talk about The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this book. I've raved about it so many times. You have to read that. It's a great book for beginners. If you want to read more personal finance books, I have a video on that. I'm happy to do another video on it, but I'll give you, at this point in time, I'll just quickly recommend The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Psychology of Money, and Black Girl Finance. I have a book where I've spoken about these books. But when it comes to personal finance as well, I think generally it's an issue with discipline. So if you're more disciplined with other things, you will be more disciplined with your finances, which is why you also have to read generally, you have to read self-improvement books. One of my favorite books as well is the 5 a.m. Club, and I think you should read that book. It's about waking up early, but that's me going on another tangent. So one thing I stopped doing after learning about personal finance or how to deal with my finances is the stories that I grew up with in my head. It's basically looking at my past and experiences and the things that I was exposed to and thinking that that was my story. I stopped that because I realized that when it comes to finances, your background does not need to determine your future, right? If you came from a background where you were not taught how to deal with money, or the way you saw other people dealing with money is not what is advisable, you have to learn to do better. And for me, that is what learning about money has done for me. That is what learning about personal finance has done for me. And that is why it is incredibly important for you to, at some point, to detach your current reality to your past, right? When it comes to certain things. And for me, when it comes to money, that was one of the things that unconsciously I may have picked up about how money was and how just the whole concept of money that I can't get into right now. But I think just things that you observe, how you see the adults around you deal with money, how you dealt with money as a child, because no one really teaches us about money. And I just realized at some point that it wasn't serving me, and I've completely detached that from I've completely detached, right, to a large extent, from my past thoughts and experiences about money and my current version, and they are just two different people at this point. Finally, I would say that um, the thing I stopped doing with money was to move blindly. I stopped moving blindly, and I'm learning more about money. The book I just recommended to you, The Richest Man in Babylon, would tell you so many things about money, including the fact that you have to learn from people who know more about money, and only take advice from people who have proven to have good experiences with money. And me not moving blindly means that I am reading a lot more books, I am watching a lot more videos, I am attending a lot more um, events, or just putting myself in spaces where I am seeing money, I am learning more about money. And that, it's something that's really helped me. And I hope that you do not follow blindly. I know there are lots of there's a lot of content out here about personal finance and what to do with your money. There's a lot of content about trading, about all of these different coins. If you want to do something with any of these, you have to learn before you put your money into anything. You can't you can't evade the learning process if you want to do better with your money. And so I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to say that if you haven't been doing better with your money, you have to start reading books about personal finance and learn more about personal finance. If you also are trying to do your best, I have a 7-day self-improvement challenge that would give you practical things that you can do, and a cute workbook that you can take notes and help you improve your habits in 7 days. But also, it's not just a 7-day challenge, it's something that's going to get you started, and you can do it over and over and over, no matter how many times you want to do it, just to help you build the muscle when it comes to your habits, your mindset, your physical fitness and everything. So check it out. Check out the 7 day self-improvement challenge. And yeah, I hope that it really helps you. And if you new here, you're welcome to the team. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I wish you the best. Lots of love.